So they came here to this planet. You know, this planet's mostly water that we all live on. Okay? If you think about it, the elements are very important. The hydrogen, the oxygen, where is it? It's right back there. There's the oxygen. And you guys know how precious all these atoms are and how important they are. But if you think about this, you know, I got evidence right here on my computer. I can prove that the aliens, you know, you can go to Brian Forster's channel. I mean, there's evidence all over YouTube. You can't really hide it. You know, go to Brian Forster's channel. I mean, does that look normal to you? I mean, they've been here a long time. You know, it's getting hard to get people to accept all this. You know, the invasion started long ago. I mean, the atoms and all that's very important, but they're here for other things. They have other plans for you and me. And they're a hell of a lot smarter than we are. Think about that. They're very clever. You guys got to wake up a little quicker. We're just not going to survive. So I'm going to show you right here in Genesis. If you take a look right here, you know, power, sex, and money. HHO has always been about power, sex, and money. If you take a good look here, this is how these guys are getting back and forth. This is how they power all their advanced secret technology. Think about it. They're not just traveling back and forth across the universe for no reason. You know, if you look in here, man's sent from the garden, and it clearly tells you right here. Hang on, let me turn this on. It clearly shows you right here in the Bible, you know, about a flame and a sword, okay, which turned in every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Okay, so it talks about a flaming sword that turned every which way, that kept the tree of life going, okay? Think about that. A flaming sword that turned every which way that keeps the tree of life going. You know, I use this to grow plants. I put plants in here, and the flame creates the water that feeds the plants, and it gives them the heat that they need. So I'll show that in another video, but I just wanted to point that out. And this is where Adam and Eve comes in. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living things. Look. You can read it right there. Now think about that. Adam, okay, the hydrogen atom. No, do you get it? Think about it. Adam and Eve, you know, atom, hydrogen atom, the proton, okay? And Eve, the electron. Think about that. Adam and Eve. You know, Adam and Eve. Yeah, these guys are really clever, man. Remember, they have access to endless amounts of power. You know, bending starlight. If you look right here, you can change the passage of time. I'm going to go through here and film this for you, and you can go back, pause it, and read it. If you look right there, you know, the more intense the gravitational field around you, the more slowly time will run for you. See, and there's visible light, and it's important to us because we can see it. But the way they're doing this, it's all invisible. You can't see it. Just like all these other forms of electromagnetic radiation, you can't see it. They call light an electromagnetic wave because it's special to us. We can see it. They know this. They know you can't see all that other stuff. It's invisible to us. It's completely invisible to human senses. That's why it's so hard to explain this to you guys. You know, you're never going to believe in aliens and them bending light and traveling through the universe and having endless amounts of power and electricity and using starships and being with the females. I mean, how am I going to get you guys to believe all that? So you have to think about that. These guys are literally recreating the power of the sun. You know? They're using platinum atoms left over from dead supernova and hydrogen to excite electrons to make photons and use photoelectric effect to make electricity. I'm just saying. That was their little plan all along. And they can time travel. They're like time bandits. So. It's easy for them to do. So as far as I'm concerned, Stanley Meyers was one of the greatest conspiracies of all time. I mean, if you want to call it that, really it's a reality. The guy was a genius. And you can see how power, sex, and money and all that takes part in this with HHO. You know, our water-powered planet that we live on. Think about that. Coal, oil, nuclear, their waste. It's almost alien to us all, you know? And if you ever watch television and you guys are getting all this fakeness and all this lies, I see it too. You know, there's so much bullshit. Nobody knows what to believe. And if you ever watch the Weather Channel or anything on TV and the news, you're going to see these women on there. You're going to see lots of legs, tits, and ass. You know, it's all part of the game, guys. You know, so you guys don't know what's real anymore. You know, you think this image is fake. This is what's really going on. They don't want you to know what to believe. It's true. Stan was a genius. That's why I made this video. I wanted to point it out. So you can't get around their electromagnetic shield. They have it like this monitor. The electrons come through this long copper wire all the way to your house. And that's how they control everybody. There's a lot of manipulation going on. And you'll notice the girls and the legs and the tits and the ass and all that's part of the illusion. Sex, money, power. You know, Stan was right in the middle of all that. He became a millionaire and famous overnight. You know, once you tap into their energy, you have all the power in the world. You know, so they had limitless amounts. They had access to limitless amounts of energy. Okay? That's why I think you can't beat the aliens. You're not going to win. They've had that forever. They've had access to limitless, endless amounts of energy. Stan bumped into this. Think about that. Kind of on accident. You know? And he broke down the illusion. This is why Stan's not with us anymore. Think about that. You know, if you take a Tesla coil, you can ignite the gas atoms wirelessly inside the combustible motor of an engine. This is how they run their starships. I mean, where's your imagination, guys? It's how they win every time, because you just can't believe. You just can't believe, you know? Yeah, how are you going to get somebody to believe that aliens are running everything? Never going to happen. This is the problem Stan ran into. You know? Yeah, stealing the water, taking the women, having access to all your atoms and everything, getting away with the water, you know, lying to you all the time, deceiving you. Yeah. That's what them fallen angels do. They're in the Bible. You know, they didn't just come here for water. That's one of the most abundant elements in the galaxy. You know, oxygen and hydrogen. That's going to be easy for them to get. The aliens are going to have no problem getting their hands on any of that. There's enough water in this reactor right here to travel around the galaxy 10 times over. You know, and you can just capture and reburn it again. So imagine that. So fuel is no longer their concern. You know, they had other things in mind. Go in here and I'll show you. You know, our little friends here, you You know, Stan got involved in this. Like I said, there was lots of sex and money, and HHO is power, and women are attracted to power and money. You know, this is why they're so big into the aliens. Think about that. You know, women are attracted to HHO. You know, all these, think about that, these new clean energies. They're going to have all these girls after them. You guys better buy some condoms. I mean, you know, you have all this clean energy. It's not just a fad, you know, the chicks are into this now. So those are the images, you know, they had other plans coming here. Stan knew this. Stan was a genius. So there's lots of energies out there that you can't see, and this is how they pull it off. See, back in the day, Stan realized that there would be no neutron involvement. You know, you'd get rid of the chemical oxides and all that by using water as fuel. So there's a little bit about uranium. You can go back and read this if you want. I just wanted to show this really quick in this video. See, here's the glass right here, that's uranium glass. These are radioactive antiques. You know, they can't say that the radiation hasn't made it out into the public, because it has. You can pick this up at any thrift store. Just bring a UV light with you, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Better yet, bring a Geiger counter. Visible light, all the other things you can't see it. We make tools to see this stuff. There's a lot of energies and a lot of energy forms you can't see. You know, radiation is a fire that attacks us on the atomic level, and you can't see it. It's completely invisible to human senses. Think about that. All this stuff, invisible to human senses. Thorium, tritium, uranium, it all becomes nuclear waste. You know, these idiots have, you know, Stan warned us about all this stuff. This was not clean energy at all. It was dangerous, and actually they've learned to ship it out as toys and glasses and dishes. They've been dumping waste on us for a long time. It's obvious. You know, so Stan tried to point a lot of this out to us. He was a very religious man. And if you look here in Genesis, if you come down here on number 16, take a look right here, and it says, "And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also." So you have to remember that. He made the stars. So it's very clearly telling you about hydrogen in the process. And if you look down in here in the Bible in the back, I'm just going to throw this in here, I might as well. It's in the back here. If you go into Revelations in chapter 8, the seventh seal, it clearly tells you about, you know, the red forest in Chernobyl right here. You know, the trees was burned up and all the grass was burned up. And if you come down here, it tells you about wormwood. That's a little plant that grows over in Russia, and that's Chernobyl. And the name of the star is called wormwood. And the third part of the waters became bitter because of it. You see, it's still an ongoing problem over there. Stan was warning us that if Chernobyl ever had China syndrome and it melted through to the water table, there'd be a second explosion. It would actually set the Earth off of its axis. An explosion like that from Chernobyl. So they're not out of the woods yet, you know. They put the safe confinement thing on there, but they still have to deal with the waste, you know. That's a problem for them. Okay, Nephilim, the gods who came down and raped human females as reported in the Bible. Okay, well, I found that right here, and that's also in Genesis. If you come over here in Genesis chapter 6, we'll go down here. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. If you think about how that works out, you see what I'm talking about right here. Nephilim gods, water, kings, you know,